What's going on, YouTube? How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody having a good day. Right now we're in Liberty, New York at Frito-Lay, picking up a load that's going to Orlando, Florida. Figured I'd sit back here and make a quick video. Well, I don't know how quick it's going to be, but I'll make a video for y'all. I was supposed to make this video a while back because there was a gap in between when I picked up my truck and my first video. That's because when I picked up my truck had to go in the shop, basically as soon as I got it. Mind you, the truck only had 20,000 miles on it when I got it. So I flew out to the SFI terminal in Charlotte. Now, SFI doesn't let you test drive the trucks. You basically go out into the yard, look at your truck, do a pre-trip on it, check all your fluids, check everything. I guess they figured, it was DOT, they had a DOT inspection before I got it, and stuff like that, so I guess they figured everything was fine. When I ran through the truck, everything didn't have any service engine lights or anything, so everything seemed fine to me. So he went in there and signed the paperwork. I left, went to the pilot to put fuel, because I had to drive to Forest Park, Georgia for orientation the next day, because SFI didn't have any fuel in the truck. It was like less than a quarter tank. So I leave the pilot, I get on 85, and being an owner-operator, when you get a truck, it's not supposed to be governed. I'm not a company driver anymore. So I get in the truck won't go past 63 miles an hour. Felt like I was a company driver again. So I called my AA. It was like, that's not supposed to be like that. Take it back to SFI, which is basically the Snyder terminal. Took it back there, they don't work on Volvos. So they sent me to the Volvo dealer, which is basically on the other side of 85, not that far away. Took it there. It was a little late in the afternoon, so they really couldn't look at it. So they took the governor off because the cruise control wasn't working either. So they fixed the governor. They governed it at 80. So I could do 80, whether it's pedal or cruise control. And they was like, well, you have to bring it back for the cruise. And I was like, you know what, don't worry about it. I'll just take it the way it is. And I'll do the, I just have it looked at in Forest Park when I get there, so I don't miss my orientation. I guess they must have got an email from Snyder, because I told Snyder what was going on with the truck. So they were like, well, we'll look at it now before you go. I was like, all right, that's cool. So about an hour go by, and the guy comes out, and he was like, there's a problem with the truck. He's like, the service engine light just came on while he was diagnosing the cruise control. So he was like, we can't really get into it right now because it's late. The mechanics are about to leave. So he said, bring it back first thing in the morning. I was like, all right, no problem. I go to the nearest Walmart. I get some stuff for the truck, a couple of toiletries, food, stuff like that. And I just spent the night at the Walmart. I got up, crack of dawn, there at 7 o'clock the next morning. Give me the keys. They took the truck in the shop. About an hour later, the manager comes out and tells me we got bad news. I'm sitting here looking at him like, what kind of, how can it be bad news? The truck ain't got but 20,000 miles on it. Like, I was here for a little cruise control problem. He was like, oh, it's not the cruise control. He's like, when the tech was test driving the truck last night, or yesterday, the day before, the service engine light came on. He was like, it needs an ANU valve, which goes by the turbo somewhere. I don't know. That's their term for it. He was like, unfortunately, that part is on national back order. He's like, I don't recommend you driving the truck that way. The truck needs to stay here until it gets fixed. Now, mind you, I flew in from Philadelphia the day before. So now I'm sitting there like, I can't take the truck, which means I'm going to miss my orientation, which means I don't have a job. So it's like, something not sitting right with me. So I called my AA over at SFI and I told him what was going on. And I was like, I ain't had a truck about an hour yesterday and it had to go into the shop. So he was like, well, what do you want us to do? Like, he was basically talking to me like, it's like, sit there, wait for you to get your part, and there's basically nothing they could do. I was like, well, can I just get another truck? He's like, well, we don't have no trucks to give you. I was like, I just left a bunch of trucks. Like, I just made a video. It's a whole, y'all got like 50 trucks sitting here. And I looked at just about all those trucks, and all those trucks weren't, there's no way all them trucks is accounted for. Like, you got a 1 or 2 trucks over here that you could probably give me, but you just not. Because the way they work is SFI and Schneider are kind of like hand in hand, per se. So if I was leasing on a Schneider, I probably would have got another truck. But being as I'm leasing on a JB Hunt, they like, this is what we got, this is what you're going to get, take it or leave it. So they basically just told me I got to wait for the part to come in. But however long that take, when your part come in, then you take the truck. I'm like, I just spent about $600 filling the tanks up. And now I got to get a plane ticket home and sit home for God knows how long, because I was a JB Hunt company driver, so I left the company side to be an owner-operator. So I'm basically jobless right now. So it's like, I tried to catch a last-minute flight. That was just, it wasn't terribly expensive. It was just a whole ordeal. It was raining that day. The flight got delayed like 6 hours. I ended up having to fly to Newark instead of Philly. Then I had to catch a train from Newark, then catch an Uber. It's like, I left there like 10-something that morning. I didn't get home like 2 o'clock in the morning the next day. So it was just, I wasn't happy. I mean, the only thing they did was put my payments on hold. So now my first payment isn't due till February 3rd. So from December 12th, they called me a couple of days after Christmas and told me the part was in and the truck was going to be fixed. And it was like right by New Year's and stuff. So I picked the truck up January 3rd. Haven't really had any problems out of the truck. I mean, it has, the service engine light comes on. For some reason, I don't know why it will come on. I would check it, but it'll be no faults. And then like, I would drive it for a while and it would just go out. So I don't know if it's like an electrical problem or what. But I mean, it is a Volvo. So they say Volvos have electrical problems. So, but it's like they're making these trucks to meet demand, but it's like they're just rushing them out the door and selling them. And it's like, well, we'll just figure out if something go wrong later on the line, we'll just figure it out. If nothing go wrong, then hey, it is what it is. So unfortunately, I got stuck with the truck that had a problem. So, but I mean, I've done a couple loads on it. This load right here will be my longest load I've done, because usually loads I've done, I went from like, you know, probably a couple hundred miles. Like, you know, I've done Berwick, PA to West Virginia, and Aberdeen to Cranberry, like Jersey to Maryland, stuff like that. Like, this would be my longest run. This would be about 1,200 miles. I'm going from Liberty, New York to Orlando, Florida. And from Orlando, I pick up in Kathleen and come back up to, I drop off in Aberdeen. So, well, back to the SFI stuff. My recommendation is, I mean, SFI is not a bad company. You know, if you don't have the funds to go put $25,000 down on a truck, like I had to give them $3,000 down payment for JB Hunt. Now, it depends whatever company you go to. That depends on your down payment. Like, so JB Hunt was $3,000. Then I had to do a 2290. It was like close to the end of the year, so that was $380. And then you got to get bobtail insurance, and that's basically all your fees to drive that truck off the lot. So it's not bad. I mean, they're not a bad company. And the way I look at it is, my truck will be paid off in 3 years versus me going to the bank, putting 25% down and paying, you know, I'll still be paying probably like $2,000, $2,500 a month for, you know, 5-6 years. So, you know, I get my truck in half the time. I mean, it's a $1,200 a week monthly payment. I mean, it ain't that bad. So everybody, you know, they look down on, you know, oh, you leasing a truck through SFI, you giving your money away, this, that, and the third. And it's like, it's the same concept, really. Like, the interest rate is the same as if I was to go to a bank, and I got a balloon payment at the end. Like, I'm basically paying the same money. Just if I went to a bank, I wouldn't have a balloon payment. So it's like, after 3 years, I pay my balloon payment. The truck is mine. And I feel I'm go get another truck through SFI and put a driver in this one and, you know, and just keep doing that cycle if I want. But hopefully by that time, you know, things will be a lot different and I could do it a different route. But right now, for me, this was the best route. So I'm not knocking SFI as a company. It's just, I got a bad truck. So it happens. I'm not the only person that's gotten a bad truck. I was in orientation with a guy. He had a 2023 Freightliner Premium. I had 123 miles on it. And his service engine light came on right before he got the orientation. So, you know, it's a gamble. It's trucking, you know, and anything can go wrong. So, but right now I'm getting live loaded. Just wait for him to get done that. I've been in for like an hour and a half. My appointment was for 9, but it took me early. They were loading me for a while and then just stopped. So I don't know if they taking a break or what. So I'm just waiting for that to get done. What else? I don't know if I'm going to do a video, like road video driving down to Orlando, because the mount that I have on the windshield is a little shaky, so I don't want y'all watching a shaky video. So I'll probably do a video when I get to Orlando, to my destination. And I'm gonna do another load board video. I had a couple requests for certain areas and stuff like that, so I'll do that when I'm taking my 10 hour. I'll do that. Plus, I'm trying to see if I can find a load going from Orlando to Georgia, so I don't have to deadhead that 300 and something miles from Orlando to Kathleen. So hopefully I could find something that would fit in my time frame. So while I'm searching on a load board looking for that, I can do a load board video for you guys, for the guys that want to see certain areas. I think one was like Houston, Texas, one's South Carolina. I think there's another one in there. I have to go back and look. So I appreciate all you guys. Thank you all for subscribing and supporting the channel. And I'll talk to you guys later. Y'all have a good night.